Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? My name is Wright. I go by the name of Luke Motivates. I've been in the Marine Corps for 22 years, and throughout my career, I've engaged with many Marines and enjoy motivating people to do the things that they want to do to help them achieve their goals. There's two things that I know about you. One, you want to be happy. Two, you want to be successful. There's something that you've been thinking about, some burning desire in your heart, something that you spend your nights thinking about over and over again. While you're at work, you're thinking about it. It's a desire in your heart and a desire in your mind to achieve this thing. How bad do you want it? Do you want it so bad that you're willing to stop making up excuses not to get it? Do you want it very bad that you're willing to push your fears aside? Do you want it so bad that you're willing to stop procrastinating to get it? How bad do you want it? Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story. A story about five women who all wanted it bad. They wanted to improve upon themselves. They wanted to be better than they were the previous year. They wanted to be healthier physically, and they wanted to be healthier mentally. So one evening, they all sat together. And as they sat together, they discussed and brainstormed ideas of how they could become better. And what they came up with was that they were going to go to the gym the very next day and start to work out. They decided that the next day that they would be at the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. Upon hearing that time, 6 o'clock, one woman exclaimed, "Wait a minute, at 6 o'clock, I am giving my husband a cup of coffee. And by 7 o'clock, I'm watching Steve Harvey. I don't do anything before I give my husband his coffee and watch Steve Harvey." And with that, she said she wouldn't participate. Well, the other four women all bought into it, and they were glad to do it. They all agreed that the next morning that they would meet at the gym at 6 o'clock. And with that, each woman departed. They each went home and started to get ready for the next day. They got their gym shoes ready, their athletic pants together, their athletic tops. They set their alarm clocks, and they all went to bed that evening. Well, that night, as the minute hand went around the clock and the hour hand went around too, the night passed and the next day came. And that next day, the alarm clock started to go off. You all know that annoying sound. Well, with that annoying sound, one woman woke up and she rubbed her eyes and rubbed the crust from her face, and she looked at the screen on the clock, and those bright red numbers blinked at her. And she said, "Oh no, it's just too early." And she reached out and she hit the snooze button, and she went back to sleep. But she knew in her mind that the extra minutes of sleep that she was going to get was not going to allow her to be at the gym in time to meet the other women. She wasn't willing to commit. And with that, she went back to sleep. Well, the other three women all got up when they heard that alarm clock. In their individual homes, each one of them went to the bathroom, freshened up, got dressed, put on their athletic pants, their favorite fitness shoes, their athletic tops, and got their bags and were ready to go. One woman nudged her husband and said, "Hey, remember yesterday you promised to drop me off at the gym?" And he got up and started his old truck and he drove her to the gym. Well, the next woman, she got in her car and she put in her favorite tunes to motivate her as she drove to the gym. Finally, the last woman didn't have a car, but she did have a bus pass, and she had already scheduled to take the bus and get there to the gym. And she got on the bus and she rode the bus to the gym. Well, all three women arrived in the gym parking lot just minutes within each other. As they got there, they decided to have a little small talk. One woman said, "When I get in the gym, I'm going to work on this jiggly here underneath my arm. And I'm going to work on the junk in the trunk." And she pointed to her friend. She says, you better work on your stomach." And the woman with the stomach looked at her and says, "My stomach? What do you mean by that? If you're so concerned about my stomach, I can work out at home." And the other two women said, "Oh, no, girl, don't worry about that. That's not what she meant." The other woman says, "I know exactly what you meant." And with that, she called her husband. He came and picked her up, and she went home. There were only 2 women left, and they looked at each other questionably because they started out with 5 just the day before. 2 out of the 5 were left. The 2 women in the parking lot started to walk up the sidewalk towards the gym. And as they walked next to the gym, they noticed that the lights in the gym were still dim. They got to the front of the gym and saw a sign that said that the gym would not be open until 11 a.m. They were both very disappointed. One woman said, "What do we do now? The treadmill is in there. The elliptical is in there. The trainers are in there. The weights are in there. Everything that we need is in the gym." The other woman said, "Don't worry. It's a nice neighborhood. There's something we can do." The other woman said, "What can we do? This day is wasted." And with that, she got in her car and she drove off. One woman was left. She stood there in front of the gym very disappointed because just the day before, she had started off with 4 of her other friends, and now she was the only one. She dropped her head in disappointment and put her hands on her hips. She wasn't sure what to do. But from that point in front of the gym, she began to walk. And she walked for maybe a half a block, and then she began to jog. And then after she jogged a while, she got the courage and the motivation to start running. And she ran. And after running a while, she got out of breath. And then she began to walk again. And she walked and walked until she felt like she wanted to jog again. And after a while of jogging, she began running again. And she walked, ran, jogged. Walked, ran, jogged. Walked, ran, jogged. Walked, ran, jogged for 45 minutes until she returned to the spot at the gym where she first started. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want it bad, if you want it so bad, very bad, super bad, listen to me. If you want it bad, first of all, what you want to do is have a regimented plan. A regimented plan that has a strong why. A strong why. Why do you want to do this? Why is it important to you? What is going to happen if you don't do it? What will happen if you do it? How will you feel when you achieve your goal? Write it down. Put it in detail. Explain the who, what, why, and when. How will you feel when you achieve your goal? How important it is to you. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. If you are traveling cross country or you're going somewhere, you are more likely to get there if it's a well-defined plan or destination. If I say that I'm going shopping, I may end up anywhere. If I say that I'm going to Macy's to the men's department to get a tie, most likely I will end up in the men's department at Macy's to get a tie. Be specific, be detailed in your goal. When you design your regimented plan, have short-term goals. These short-term goals are set up to get you to your ultimate long-term goal. When you reach your short-term goal, when you reach one of those points, don't forget to reward yourself. Have some type of reward. Are you going to treat yourself to something at the mall? Are you going to have a special day? Remember not to forget to reward yourself. You're encouraging yourself to move on. With each accomplishment of a short-term goal, you are reminding yourself how important your why is. Have those built-in rewards. Remember, have a regimented plan with short-term and long-term goals and rewards that remind you how important you are and how important your goal is. Now, once you set up a regimented plan that has a strong why in it, that reminds you how much you want your goal, now you must commit to it. You must commit to that. Your why and your regimented plan is like a contract. Just like a contract. You must be committed to your goal just like you're committed to your marriage. Just like you're committed to your relationship. Committed to your job. Committed to your kids. Commit to it. Most of you watching out there have a cable service plan, or maybe you have a cell phone or smartphone plan. Many of us have a 12-month or a 24-month contract. If you are willing and able to stick to a contract for your cell phone or your cable service, why wouldn't you commit and stay engaged with a plan that is related to your happiness and success? It's only common sense. Remember, commit to your goal. Hand in hand. Stick with it. It's your goal. It's important. That's why you have a strong why. Now, once you set up a regimented goal with short-term and long-term goals, and you've agreed to stay committed to it as if it was a contract between you and your goal, the next thing you want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to be able to sacrifice. That's right. Never let those things that matter least come between you and those things that matter most. Never. What's more important, ladies and gentlemen? Your goal or Twitter? What's more important, ladies and gentlemen? Facebook or your goal? What's more important? Fantasy football or your goal that's tied directly to your success and happiness? What's more important? Gossiping on the phone or your goal? What's more important? Spending your time hours after hours surfing on the internet or on your laptop, or your goal that's tied directly to your success and your happiness? Stick to it. You have to be willing to sacrifice and get rid of and ignore those things to the left and right that are not as important as your ultimate goal. Be willing to sacrifice, be willing to commit to what you want. Next, this is a heavy one, ladies and gentlemen. Remember that lady, the one that was told about her stomach by her fellow friend? You have to be willing to use criticism as a motivational tool. Instead of using it as an excuse to take a step back, use it as motivation to take a step forward. I'm about to tell you something that's very honest. People are going to talk about you. That's right. Your friends are going to talk about you. Your family is going to talk about you. Your enemies are going to talk about you. Your coworkers are going to talk about you. People are going to talk about you in front of your face. People are going to talk about you while you're not around. People are going to talk about you while you're alive. And sure and certain they will talk about you while you're dead. Do not let what people say interfere with your goal. What they say does not change the strong why that you created in your regimented plan. Do not let what people say interfere with your goal. People are going to talk, so let them. Remember, use criticism as a motivational tool to take one step forward instead of taking one step back. You must be willing to not let those things pull you down. Don't use it as an excuse or a crutch to deviate or push away or fall to the wayside of your plan. Their comments, criticisms, and negative words are not that important. Next, ladies and gentlemen, You must have faith. Have faith in your plan. Believe in yourself. Reflect back on the strong why that you created in your regimented plan. It is important to you. There are going to be times when the way forward is ever so challenging. There are going to be good times. There are going to be bad times. There is going to be failure. Look at it as not a problem, but as a challenge. There are going to be times when the road in front of you is so dark that it appears to you that there's no future. You must be willing to believe in yourself so much that you're still willing to take a step forward in the darkness. You must be willing to feel those dark walls as you move forward, even if you can't see. You wrote out that strong why, and you believe in it so much that you're willing to take a step forward in the darkness. Believe in yourself. That's why it's so important to write that strong why, that you're so willing to go forward and not willing to go back to the habits that you used to have. Have faith and believe in yourself. At this point, it is very important to surround yourself with other positive people. Surround yourself with people that are going in the same direction that you are going in. Surround yourself with positive people, people that have already made the mistake, so that you can learn from them and you don't make the same mistake. Learn from others. Surround yourself with a network of people that are trying to go forward. Too often, we surround ourselves with people that complain just like us, that encourage us to fall by the wayside when things are becoming challenging. So if you need to, in order to have a strong faith, make sure that you surround yourself with a good network of people. That may include changing what you watch on TV, changing what you entertain yourself with on the internet, changing what type of books you actually read. When you change the intake that's going into your mind, you will in turn change the thoughts that you're having. And it will encourage and motivate and increase your faith. Next, ladies and gentlemen, be willing to change. Become flexible. For all those that are working out, remember, when you're going to the gym and you're working out and you've lost 5 pounds, 10 pounds, 15 pounds, and you've reached that plateau and you're saying, my goodness, I'm working out, I'm eating right, and I can't get past this 15-pound loss. I need to lose more. Be willing to change. Don't keep doing the same thing and expect something different. Maybe you need to change your diet up just a little bit. Maybe you need to change your workout a little bit. Maybe you need to increase the intensity in your workout. Be willing to change. Another example, if you're looking for a job and you've only put out 10 resumes and you've only talked to several people, be willing to talk to different people. Be willing to put out more resumes. Be willing to change your resume. In a storm or a hurricane, the strongest tree that has a large trunk may sometimes break and split in half. But the tree that has a flexible trunk will sway back and forth throughout that storm and will be able to endure and stand. Be flexible, and you will be able to endure the criticisms, the ups and the downs, and all the changes that will occur while you try to obtain your goal. Next, ladies and gentlemen, be persistent. Be persistent. Now, there's a difference between being persistent and being determined. Being determined is the mental. Being able to focus day after day on what is important, on your goal. Being persistent is the physical action that you constantly take day after day. drips and drops of water can actually wear down on a boulder after time. Have you ever looked at a baby who is trying to walk? Day after day, that baby will hold on to a coffee table or a couch and stutter step and fall down, stutter step and fall down. And no matter how many times that baby falls down, he or she will always get back up. Me and you and anybody that really wants to achieve their goal must be persistent as a baby. Now, if a baby can be that persistent, why can't we? Be as persistent as a baby. It will reward you. Your persistence will reward you. Make your persistence a habit. Work it into your schedule. Remind yourself, when you make it part of your schedule and you make it a habit, you will do it every day. And as you do it every day, you won't have to think about it as much because it will become a habit. You will begin to do it automatically. When you wake up and you're ready to go to the gym, when that clock goes off, it won't seem like a chore so much. When you do it day after day, you will automatically, your brain will tell you, hey, this is what we have to do. And it won't seem so much of a challenge. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, be persistent, be determined. That requires you to be focused and reflect again on having a strong network. So if you're having a lot of people around you that are negative, you're going to want to change that because they may not want you to be persistent. They may be used to the old you, and they may not want to let go of the old you. So that may, again, require you to change your network and the people around you. Be persistent, be determined. Next, remember this, the right thought. Oftentimes, you can see me on Facebook. You can see me on Twitter or Instagram posting the right thought, which are very motivational quotes that I use each day to inspire myself and anyone that follows me. Now, this particular quote says, if you spend the time with your excuses and invest your procrastination and fears, you will surely convince yourself that you can't afford your dreams. One more time, if you spend time with your excuses and invest in your procrastinations and fears, you will surely convince yourself that you can't afford your dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, we must be careful where we invest our time physically and mentally. Because if we spend too much time with our excuses, with our fears, and our procrastination, we're going to surely convince ourselves that we don't have time to pursue our dreams. We don't have time to pursue the passion in our heart. We don't have time to go after that goal, that passion that we think about day after day that's really going to make us happy. You must be willing to sacrifice and cut off your relationship with your excuses. Stop rescheduling your happiness. That's what your procrastination is doing. It's telling you each and every day, extend out your happiness. Your happiness can wait. You can wait to be happy. If I were to tell you, or a friend or family member were to tell you, wait to be happy, you would be highly disappointed in that person. You would almost think they were disrespecting you. So do not disrespect yourself by investing your time in your procrastination and your fears. Remember, be very careful where you invest your time, your time and efforts. Who do you spend your time with? What are you watching on TV? What are you doing on YouTube? What are you doing on your phone? What are you doing at home? What are you doing at work? Invest your time wisely, physically and mentally. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, I believe in you, not your excuses. I believe in you, not your procrastination. You can succeed. Remember, There's something that you want bad, very bad, super bad. And in order to get it, you are going to have to be willing to separate yourself from your fears, your excuses, and your procrastinations. You want it so bad that you are willing to write out a regimented plan. You want it so bad that you're willing to commit to that plan. You want it so bad that you're willing to sacrifice those things that matter least for those things that matter most. You definitely want it very bad. You want it so bad that you're willing to use criticism as motivation to take a step forward instead of a step back. You want it so bad that you're not going to let those people that have negative comments hold you back. You want this thing so bad, so very bad, that you're willing to take action today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next year. You want this thing so bad that you're willing to change that negative habit that's holding you back today, that held you back last week, that held you back last month, that held you back last year. That one thing that you keep making a promise that you're going to cut off and cut out your life. You have to make a change. You want it so bad, very bad, super bad. You want it for yourself, and I want it for you. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I believe in you and not your excuses. I believe in you and not your procrastinations. My name is Luke Wright. Also go by Luke Motivates. You can look for me on Twitter, on Facebook under Luke Wright Motivational Speaker. Look for the Right Thought, hashtag the Right Thought. You can check out my blog, lukemotivates.blogspot.com. I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing how well you are doing toward achieving your goal. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. You motivate me, and I love motivating you.